All right, I think it's showtime. Let us know for those that have arrived nice and early, if you can hear us, if you can see us. If you're even there, say hello.
You guys are going to be our test bunkies?
Yes, those are the first here. We've got our cup of teas ready to go, and just looking forward to a really chilled out evening, just having a bit of a chat, having a bit of a conversation about how we're all going on this very cool winter
I'm just having a giggle right now because the dog was sleeping 20 seconds ago and he's just like, why is everyone talking all of a sudden? You guys never talk like this much.
Yeah. I wonder if anybody's out there, feel free to say hi. If we've never chatted with you before, feel free to let us know who you are and what you've been up to in the garden lately.
Yeah. We'll wait until we get confirmation that everything's good before we start talking about our lives.
And if you guys do have any questions or anything for us, please feel free to jot them down below. We can answer them throughout as we go as well. It just gives us a bit more to talk about. But yeah, as we said, we're hoping to have this be more of a conversation. So we might ask you guys questions. Yeah, that'll be a bit of fun tonight. So yeah, so what have we been up to today, Sam?
I'm doing burn-offs today.
Yes, that's been going pretty well. The very first burn-off we ever did on our property, we were a little bit terrified, I'll be honest. It went up in smoke so high up because of all of the tea tree that we used. And we had one big pile as opposed to just putting more little piles onto another little pile. So now that we've done it a few times and had a bit of practice, I think it's getting easier and easier.
Yeah, I think it's just a confidence thing. You don't want to do anything to do with fire, anything to do with burning off, unless you're comfortable. And I think that's just something you need to work towards bit by bit.
I don't know if the comments are working.
Yeah, we're not seeing anything.
If you guys are saying anything, doesn't support on private videos. Are we on a private video right now?
Why are we on a private video?
No clue. Let's see. Sorry, guys. If anyone's saying anything, the comments are not coming up. So not sure what's going on. Please don't sniff my tea. Hopefully you guys can hear us okay. Hopefully your comments will come through pretty soon. Maybe edit. There we go. Public.
Oh, there we go.
Here we go. I think maybe our comments are going to come through. I was wondering why it was so quiet out there. I was like, I was looking at
those crosses, and we're talking, and I'm trying to. All right. There we go.
Let's see. Okay, one comment through.
Does that mean none of this
encouraging.
Came through? None of that came through.
No, I know it's okay.
That's all right.
But yeah, we've been doing burn-offs. We then took the afternoon and we actually went out for lunch, listened to some live music. A lot more is happening around us at the moment. And the Bega Valley is just full of really incredible musicians, including this one sitting right here beside me.
You're flattering me.
Yes. For those that don't know, Sam's been making more and more time and progress towards his bands and his music as well, going out and helping out. Did you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, like it's kind of all part of the dream of homesteading.
You're fine. Keep going.
Okay. It's all part of the.
There you guys all are. Sorry. I'll let you talk and then we'll say hi to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, part of the dream for me with homesteading is to be able to work the land and work a space that is my own to offset our income and provide for ourselves really healthy food. And then to make the money that I want to make for leisure and necessities, you know, like right now we're paying bills and, but hopefully down the line, not so much, but like fuel and just going out and being able to enjoy socializing. I want all of that money to come from something that I just really love doing without having to hate it from doing it full time, pretty much.
It's been really cool. Like, we are working towards a lifestyle where, and we've talked about this before, where we're both at home and earning an income from the property. But it's really cool to see that Sam's not used to his role being here, and he really just wants to go out and earn that extra little bit of cash. But
I think it'll be different when I've got like a definitive project to just continually work on. It's like a project comes to the end and it's like, well, what am I going to work on next? And it's like, I'm either choosing something on the property or I'm choosing something in music. And it's like, I think when we get the bus, it's going to be easy to be like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And just like get at it.
And feel focused.
Yeah.
That's another thing. First of all, hello to everyone. I can see a few a few new people in the chat today, a few oldies but goodies. There's Robin, there's Annie or Annette. I've been calling you Annette. I'm not sure which one you rather. Joe here again. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks
and a
so
few
much, guys.
New names. I see Gnome's Garden just started to milk this week. We had the same comment last time we went on a live. Someone said that they milked for the first time. So that's so funny that you just learnt that.
I read that comment in a different direction than
that. Hello to Karen as well. Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Cool.
Rockpile Off-Grid Homestead. How are you
Welcome.
guys? Rose, you're here as well. Thank you so much, guys. You make us feel so loved every time we have a live chat, and we are really looking forward to having these on a more regular basis.
Before we move forward, I did see a comment on someone went to, I think Joe said he went to a whiskey festival, had a great weekend.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we actually went to one couple of years ago when we were in Melbourne, like, because we love winter and we love fires. There's a reason why I built a fire pit outside, and it's just such a celebration of winter. Winter feels like the time that you don't like celebrate. Like, you hit summer and you've got Christmas and New Year's, and
for us here in Australia anyways,
for us in Australia.
If you're over on the other side of the hemisphere, then you're probably celebrating in winter.
yeah, but it's like, it's something really nice about celebrating the other half of the year that gets neglected so much. And it's my favorite time of year.
Yeah. But Joe, you're speaking to my heart with gin. We actually have a gin distillery just down the road from where we are living. So we need to go check it out. But yeah, this last few weeks and this month especially, not that it's been that cold, but I wonder if you guys are feeling this as well, the winter blues. I mean, trying to find motivation at the moment, trying to get on top of projects. It's been pretty tough to find that motivation and just keep going, I find. Not sure what's going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it depends. There has definitely been a week or two where things have been really, really nice, and motivation's been like, it's just been very stable weather. But the flu season has been brutal. You miss something?
Oh, yes. And my classroom especially, all the kids have just been getting sick again and again. And then I've been getting sick and having to take time off. Hey, Simon, thanks for joining us. And Karen, congratulations. Simon. There is absolutely no better feeling, I'm sure, than getting your own property.
Oh, that's amazing.
And getting started. Yeah. We actually may have just found our bus.
Maybe.
There's a bus that has just popped up, and it fits so many boxes. It's got a few things that we would need to work at straight away. Well,
you guys can we're in this really interesting position where mechanically, as a vehicle, I would walk away from it. But structurally, as a house, it's everything that we want, and it's right in our price range. And it's kind of like, you know, to get it on the road, it's going to cost quite a bit, but we wouldn't have to do any crazy adjustments to get it turned into a home. So it's kind of like, if we want to stay put, it's perfect. If we want to get on the road and travel, it's like, it's a bit of a gamble as to whether or not we go ahead with it. But so we're like in decision mode, and we're talking to as many people as possible. I've already spoken to one mechanic. We're going to call a mechanic that's actually seen the bus that we've seen.
Yeah.
To see what he thinks, because on paper it looks pretty scary, the things that are like the negatives of this bus.
But at the same time, talking to others that have gone through bus builds and who have purchased buses like around us, it's just common. Like, these buses are sometimes more than 15 years old, and with any old vehicle, there's going to be issues popping up. So definitely going to be something that we've got to work at and decide what's going to be a priority. And
yeah, absolutely. And we just don't know what's going to happen with land prices as well. We just know that we need to be able to at least move it from place to place, depending on, you know, what happens with us. Because I mean, ideally, the ideal situation is we get the bus, we set it up as a home, then all of a sudden we move straight onto the property that we're buying. Like, that's ideal, you know?
Yeah.
And then we have the choice to travel with it if we want to. But, you know, like, who knows? Like, things are very uncertain, which is why we're building a bus first.
Which we kind of just jumped into the bus. I got so excited for Karen, and I think to make ourselves feel like we weren't so far from the dream, we jumped in. But for those that are new or just joining us, we announced in our last live that we are going to be converting a bus really soon. So we live on a rented homestead right now. We've got a landlord. We have a lot of flexibility, and we get to do a lot here because he's really supportive of our dreams and what we're working towards. And
which is awesome.
His mindset, like, as long as we're doing something positive for the land, like, he has absolutely no problem.
But we're on a bit of a time limit with the land as well, like, because we've got to know him. And there's going to be a point down the road where he either sells or comes back to Australia, or, you know, like, he's just going to make a decision, and then we're going to have to potentially move on. So we want to be in the best position. Joe, we haven't got the bus yet, but I'm 6'2", so that limits our choices. When we the
bus we are looking at, though, you can give more detail about it.
Yeah, well, the bus we're looking at is an Iveco Starliner, and it's got a Cummins 8.6 liter
turbo engine as well, so it'll actually get up the hills and everything else around here. Because if you've ever been to the Bega Valley, especially where we are,
it's hilly.
It's very hilly.
There's a good chance that when we get that block of land, we'll have to 4-drive the bus in.
How are you going, David? It's so nice to see so many familiar faces here today. I hope everyone's doing really well and keeping themselves nice and warm and cozy. Buying lots of plants, as Robin mentioned before, to keep ourselves happy and sane through the winter months. Bare-rooted trees are actually in season at the moment. So if you've been wanting some trees, go out and get some. We actually ordered a few. I think we've got some kiwi vines, apple trees, a few things coming up. Try to get a banana tree, and our nursery doesn't do it.
Get an extra one for us if you can.
Yeah, if anyone has a banana tree, send it down. I'm sure it's not hard.
Anyone up north that's got access to banana trees.
Which we actually went and stayed in Narooma just the other weekend, and heaps of the people around the Airbnb had banana trees.
Bananas, avocados grow here as well. Like, we're just right on the edge of subtropical. We can get some of those things growing. We're gonna do our best to keep up with the comments, guys. But I think the format, like, of the lives that we want to do, unless we're specifically announcing something, we kind of just want to make it more of a community thing, like chat with you guys, kind of talk about the last month, because we want to do this every month. We want to talk about what happened in the last month and kind of what our goals are for the next month, which will be good for us as well. Keep me accountable, I guess. So the last month has been a bit tricky. There was a lot of things we wanted to get done. The weather's been fantastic. On one hand, we got heaps done. Like, a lot of clearing done.
Some new pathways.
Yeah, new pathways.
Food forest. Heaps of new shrubs as well and plants.
Lots of things planted. Food forest has got a lot of attention. We've started a new regime with the sheep and the chooks.
You may have seen that. So Sam's been moving the chickens behind the sheep and rotating them a lot more often. So with rotational grazing, the more sheep you have on a smaller area, the faster you can move them around the property, and you're giving enough time for the grass to grow back and the sheep not to overwhelm the spot they're in. So a really positive way to move forward is to continue moving them more and more. I just wanted to interject real quick and say, David, that is a huge step, baby, on solid food with veggies and things from the garden. That is the dream.
That's awesome. His first food was from your garden. Oh, that's epic.
And the photo you guys sent as well of you and your bubba in the garden, just the cutest thing ever.
People are still rolling in. Hey, Sid.
Yes, please, Simon. I'm sure they'll accept it at Australia Post.
Yeah.
Just put it in an envelope, send it over.
It's dormant. What's the problem? Yeah. So in the last month, Diane's been sick once. I've caught the flu twice, and I wrecked my voice because I got sick the first time. Went to band practice, sung. I didn't have a voice for like a week. It was horrible. And then after I recovered from being sick, my truck broke down. So that was a whole ordeal.
And your arm,
and I injured myself.
So we were actually starting to work on the fence around the new garden. I keep calling it the new garden. It's been around for 6 months now. Yeah, so we started working on the big garden fence, and then as Sam was clearing trees that we were then going to use to line the garden, his truck broke down, and so then we put a pause on that, and for the next 2 weeks he was working on his truck, but then because of the work he had to do on it, his arm ended up like, I don't know what happened to it, but it stopped working.
Yeah, it's a little bit of tendonitis in my wrist from my thumb, which sucks. See you later, because Joe. I mean, the thumbs are what make us human, right? So it's from repetitive activity. So I think I strained it when I was undoing a bolt underneath my car. I was trying to crack it, and I remember straining at the time and it being like a bit sore, but it didn't, like, it wasn't the pain that from the injury. I just knew I did something. And then from there I did 6 hours of band practice, and then I had a gig the next day, and halfway through the gig it just started freezing up, and so that was another week. So
it's been a bit of a nightmare. If you guys have any similar experiences in this last month, anything that's held you back, feel free to jot them down below. Make us feel a little better, because it feels like the world's been a bit against us.
We're dying to connect with people that might feel a bit the same.
Guys, tell us your worst stories, please. Also, congratulations, Annette. I think it's such a good idea to merge the channels together. I could only imagine how difficult it must have been to have two channels. Just running one can be quite challenging, staying on top of it all.
I've often
lots of fun.
I've often daydreamed about starting a second channel for for
cooking.
Yeah, for cooking, or for like camp food stuff and all that kind of stuff. But then it's just like, I see the work that goes into this channel between both myself and Diane, and I'm just like, second channel, no way. No way.
Although a few of you guys have been wanting us to do some more cooking and things on our channel too. Both Sam and I love cooking. It's something that doesn't feel like a chore or something extra we have to do, but what does sound like a bit of a chore is trying to record it on camera. I think we still don't have the skill to get it in the quality that we wanted to.
Well, our priority is filming homesteading as well. So when we are filming, it tends to be outside, and it's like, if I was to pop inside and have lunch, I could go straight in to a messy kitchen, and quickly cook something up and then get out. But it's like, if we want to film having lunch, it's like, all right, well, that's going to take a chunk out of the day then. Yeah. So it's like, instead of me doing that job today, I'm filming cooking.
Yeah, so it's still a work in progress. Karen, feel free to take that idea. I think the more food forests we can have in the world, the better. It's just such a good system as well, because eventually it's all going to care for itself, and just being in abundant wilderness surrounded by fruits and veggies is just going to be, I just hope we're around to see the food forest in all its glory in a few years' time, or at least know the people that take over this property if we don't, and see what it's come to.
I think we will. We've made friends with people in the area. I made good friends with some people up the road, and we're really good friends with our neighbors. I feel like we'll always be in the area. It just depends on who shepherds the property after us.
Yeah. So I wonder if you guys have any questions for us or things that you've been noticing that you've been wondering about and just haven't had a chance to ask. Feel free to jot it down as well. It'll give us a bit more to talk about without just blabbering on, because Sam and I could talk on forever and just it may not make sense unless we've got something to guide us. But yeah, I agree with you, Annette, that homesteading and cooking do go hand in hand. Yeah, it's been really cool to see the different recipes and things that others are doing as well in the community. Sam's actually got an Instagram page. It's called Food Not Money. Is that what it's called? And so every now and again when we cook up something really delicious or something that is Instagram worthy, then he'll take a photo and pop it onto there. So that's probably the most we've done.
No caption. Yeah, I don't put much effort into that account.
Nothing but the food to excite everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do have some exciting food things happening at the moment. I'm currently curing hocks.
That's perfect segue.
Yeah, I know, perfect segue. I'm currently curing hocks, and so tomorrow or the day after, I'll be smoking them in the cold smoker. And then Diane will be using those to make some ham, hock, pea, corn soup.
Ham, hock, and pea soup,
yeah.
Which my sister gave me the recipe, and I actually picked some of our peas from last season and froze them ready to go. But it's been so long that I think we've eaten the peas by now. So it'll probably be store-bought peas this time round until I can grow some more, which... my peas aren't growing. Like, my peas and my beans are just not coming up. Is anyone else having the same kinds of troubles out there? Because I'm looking forward to some peas and some green beans, and for some reason, nothing's happening. They just keep dying off.
Disappointing.
But
I feel like the season's a bit weird at the moment, so it's hard to expect things that would normally grow. Like, we are in that El Nino kind of interesting phase of weather, you know.
A bit colder this winter as well. Deciding on plans for the native food forest, that's a really great question.
It's in the name though, because it was an edible food, edible native food forest.
Yeah.
So
essentially I did research a few, but I knew that I would come across a few more in the nursery that I hadn't heard of. So I did buy a few books from Kakuta Plum Co. And I researched all the varieties that I might want. And the first thing I did was really decide on the trees that I would want, the shrubs, and then like the ground covers. But as soon as I went to the nurseries around here, we've got 3 or 4 around us. And I just saw the varieties that they had and got the things that I found the most appealing. I had my phone on me, which was so convenient because I could just kind of search up what the different plants and the berries or the fruits would look like eventually. And then I kind of just bought almost everything that I could.
Yep.
So when the idea first came to me, it was more so a challenge to myself to try find as many different varieties of plants as I could and not spend more than $500, which I definitely went over. But doesn't matter because I'm definitely excited for how it's all going to come together.
It wasn't exactly a competition like cap. It was just like, oh, we're going to do it in under $500. It was just like, it's like, this is what we can get away with just spending on nothing but trees.
Yeah, but I definitely knew that at least for the fruit that would come off the trees, I didn't want too many different varieties with really tiny little berries because I thought that would be quite tedious. So I tried to pick more varieties with bigger fruit for easier harvests. But yeah, otherwise it was just whatever was available.
And like food replacements as well, like things that you can swap out for lettuce. Because the convenient thing is they're all perennials and like the native basil, like that's always got leaves. So it's like if you run out of lettuce, doesn't matter what time of year, you can just go down and grab a replacement.
The basil might be a bit intense for a lettuce, but the salt bush would be a really good substitute for lettuce.
Oh, there you go. One of them.
Yeah.
I'm still learning too, guys.
Yeah. Robin asks how the animals are all going.
Yeah, really good. I'll answer this. So the chooks have stopped molting now. We've got a personality to replace Musha. So Musha was the like the hilarious personality chook where you'd be sitting in the lounge room. Yeah, I miss her too. Yeah. Sitting in the lounge room watching TV, and then you just like look at the door, and Masha would be at the door just like asking to come in. Like it was just, I've never seen a chook do that before. Yeah. Like scratching like a dog at the door.
We do have a chicken that's stepping up or trying to step up to the role of Masha.
That's it.
We call her Pigeon, and I think you may have seen her in the last video, but she is a chicken that does not want to go into the coop. No matter what we do, I don't even know where she perches at night.
She's a little bit more, what's the word? Closer to...
Flighty?
No. Yeah, well, she definitely is flighty. Feral. She's a little bit feral. So, like, the definition...
In the nicest way.
Yeah. The definition that I'm going for with that is that it's closer to the... She's just a couple of steps closer to the original form of chicken. She wants to perch in a tree. Like, she doesn't want to be anywhere near humans. Like, danger, runs away immediately. Mm-hmm. Like, which is why we call her a pigeon, because she's like small and like she just sprints off as soon as you get close.
She kind of looked like a pigeon when we first got her as well. Like her markings are just so unique. She's like black at the front and white at the back. And the native, it's not a pigeon. There's a different bird around here that looks almost identical in coloring to her. But Karen, you asked whether we got the plants from Bunnings. We actually don't have a local Bunnings to us.
Yeah.
So our nurseries are all like small businesses, and a lot of the time, if they don't have the varieties that we want, if there's something I really want, like Midian berries at the moment is something that I want to incorporate in the food forest, and potentially finger limes, which are really expensive, but if I can get my hands on them, that would be great. So I've actually gone over to the lady that works at the nursery and asked her to put those aside for me the next time they do an order. So that's something that you can do as well. Approaching smaller companies and smaller nurseries allows you that flexibility of ordering in the things that you want. So
plus they're always looking to go for quality. Like if you find someone that really cares, and the one nursery we go to, we're actually friends with some people that work there. They're really involved in the community. They actually get a lot of people that are on the disability pension in to work in there as well. So like you go in there and it just feels a lot more homely, and they're passionate and professional. And then the smaller nursery, you walk in and it's just a really nice face-to-face conversation with usually only one person that's actually there.
Yeah, and she's so lovely.
Yeah.
She actually recently built our very custom bee bath.
Yeah.
I don't think I've shared that yet on our YouTube channel. It's coming up pretty soon. I did share a photo on our Instagram, but the local lady at the nursery actually creates bird baths out of concrete. And so I gave her some of the shells we collected at the local beach, and she actually set them into the concrete, and she made sure that it was nice and shallow as well for the bees. So I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's going to be nice to put.
I actually filled it up with some water for them because the bees had been so busy lately. A few warm days, and those guys think it's springtime.
There's a couple of trees that are flowering in the area, I've noticed, and I keep hearing them buzzing around.
We walked past it the other day on our morning walk and could smell the honey. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's always a really nice start to the day when you walk outside and you get like hit by a wave of honey.
We're running out of honey, I must say. We gave away too much at our engagement party.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh God, spring can't come soon enough for honey.
There was another question. Sorry, sheep.
But the sheep are going really well. Like there was always a little bit of worry with what happened with Alfie, that like we might have been doing something wrong, but it does seem that Alfie was just one of those things. I just ordered in all of the minerals that we want to start supplementing, which is
because it was really hard to actually get the minerals locally. So we live in a rural town. Like it is a small town. It's not like in the middle of nowhere, but there is a lot of things that aren't accessible to us.
Well,
that's one of them.
Yeah, well, and we're looking at very specialized kinds of things. Like it's not something that's normal for people to be like, oh yeah, I would like a giant bag of nothing but this. Like it's not unheard of, but like we have to get it shipped in. Like I've ordered it all from Queensland. And anything in the area is usually for like really high capacity farms with lots of sheep. So they're putting in giant lick blocks that have everything that they want in it. And a lot of the time it includes stuff that we don't want.
But also because of the way that we move our sheep on a regular basis, it just means we've got to be a bit more inventive and clever about how we put the minerals, how we make them accessible to the sheep, I mean. So it's going to have to go into a redesign of their shelter to make that easier to move, to make the minerals accessible without getting wet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a bit of a process, but it's on our like most priority list of things to do.
Yeah.
Because it's important for our sheep. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're happy and they're healthy. Like
they're so cute. They're both getting furrier at the moment. Like they're new wolves coming in, and Kai looks so cute every time I walk past.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because like I just really want to get some more use. So I guess that's a nice segue into like some of our goals that we want to with going ahead for the next month as well. So yeah, we want to get this this bee bath built in. I'm going to attach it to take it off the ground a little bit. We want to finish the fencing on all the garden beds so we can, when we get more chooks, which is what we definitely want to do, I have to build another chicken coop. And the coop that the chooks are in right now is going to be our little house flock. So there'll be no roosters. It'll just be hens. Probably the ones that we've got now that'll just be around the house. But we want to segregate the gardens from the chooks because everybody knows how that is.
Yeah, and I think I've mentioned before, I would rather enclose my gardens in fencing than my chickens in fencing. I really love it's such a cool feeling to be walking around the gardens or the property and just see a chicken like pop out of nowhere and like chase me around, as long as it's not the rooster. But
yeah.
Brooke Lover, which I do need to ask what your name is, but you asked, do we grow many plants before moving here?
Yeah, totally. No.
We did try. I did try growing tomatoes and herbs, but look, we had chickens in the suburbs, and as far as my herbs go, they didn't survive as well as the chickens.
Yeah.
They got smothered by kaikuya, and I didn't know how to deal with it back then. I think that's a first gardener's mistake every time.
It was interesting, though, because like we learnt all that and we watched so many people do those things, but you kind of just have to make those mistakes yourself the first time. But back then, Di and I had no experience working together. So often we would go out together to start working on something, and then we'd end up having an argument. And like, because we're just both leaders, and it took a while of exposure to get ourselves to a comfortable state.
We're leaders, but we're also very stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember us building a garden together, and we both had different ideas of how it was going to go. And we put it in the wrong spot, and we ended up getting cucumbers off it. But we put it like up the back of the rental, and it was like we just didn't go up there for like 3 or 4 days, and then didn't get the water, and then we went up there and it was dead, and it was just like, oh great, you know. And
well, that's it. Like my first garden here, I remember watering it every single day, and even then it still went yellow because it didn't have enough water. So just think, like back in the suburbs, like we hardly watered it. So and as far as like, we didn't come from families that gardened or homesteaded or had any experience on farms even. So this was all pretty new.
I did, but on a much larger, dairy, beef kind of stuff. Like, so like my experience is all 4-wheelers and tractors and like,
sorry.
Like not personal experience, but that's where like the small scale homesteading was definitely not really a thing, apart from, you know, doing butchery like steers and
finger limes are on our list as well, but we actually have a lemon tree and a lime tree here, and I'm wondering if it's worth the $40 to actually buy it. Like, it's pretty expensive for such a small tree, you know. Congratulations on digging some swales. I cannot wait, honestly, to get our own property so we can start doing more landscaping.
I dream
to
of swales.
Yeah.
I look at the property.
I keep looking at this one. I know.
Yeah. I just like, and this is all hilly terrain too, and there is definitely places the water goes, and there's a spring like 20 meters down the hill.
Nice to meet you.
It's kind of like, there's so much potential here, but yeah, it's tricky. But do you guys cook a lot from scratch? Yes, we love cooking from scratch. That's a really good question, and yeah, yeah, like we've done anything from bread to pasta, dumplings, like.
But even just our meals, like they always start with basics. I don't think we ever buy like sauce packets or things like that.
We definitely do buy things, but we use them as ingredients as opposed to using them as a base. Like we used to buy packets for like stir fries because that I would do in a wok. So we buy the packet and then I would add that into a bowl and then add things in to do that. And then eventually we just stopped adding the packet and then I was just making the sauce.
I think that was more me. So as far as how we cook, I cook really simple, quick meals. So a lot of the times they're really hearty. I come from a Russian background, so a lot of the food that I cook usually has onions, carrots, garlic, and potato in it. And you can guarantee that that's going to be a good meal. And I can use those 4 ingredients and make maybe 10 different recipes incorporating them, but that taste completely different. While Sam is a bit more adventurous and inventive, so he'll try out different like Indian spices in his recipes and different Asian ingredients. So whether it's like a Thai-inspired dish or a Vietnamese-inspired dish or wherever else. Yeah.
If I'm in a bad mood, often I'll come home and I'll just be halfway through a 5-hour recipe. Like just because I just it just gives me a nice endorphin boost to be doing that kind of thing. But we're really good. Our strengths with cooking is definitely prepping forward. So with curries, for example, I actually make up a basic curry batch in a giant pot, and then
that would be worth sharing.
Yeah, I might share that with you guys. But essentially I just get a giant soup pot and I blend in like a whole cabbage, carrots, capsicum. I don't even like capsicum. I blend in capsicum, a whole bunch of spices, tons of garlic, and then I blend that up into a sauce and then freeze it all in containers. And there's usually like 10 of them. And then when I want to do dinner, you just throw your chicken in the pan, add your spices.
Spices.
Add your extra spices, tomato, coconut, eggplant, whatever you want. And then you've got a meal. It's kind of like most of the hard work's done.
Yeah.
And it's really satisfying because it is entirely from scratch, but I can whip it up in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I like cooking.
I totally agree. Gardening from scratch, learning as you go, that's our whole philosophy in all that we've done so far. Like, I feel like I can finally say a year in that I'm officially a gardener. I couldn't say that a year ago, but I've learned so much and I'm still continuing to learn with every new season. Come new challenges, like this winter's especially colder. We've had our first frost came the other day as well, which I don't think we had a frost last year, or at least it didn't come this far in. But everything's still growing, thankfully, so far. We've got potatoes in the ground. We've got our broccolis and Brussels sprouts. A lot more is growing this time compared to last year.
Yeah.
I had a day the other week where I felt like nothing was growing because my peas weren't coming up and I couldn't see any color in my garden and all my flowers started to die back because of the cold and I was feeling so down and blue about it all. And then I flicked through my Instagram, which is one really amazing benefit of sharing with you guys is I also get to have moments where I go back through and see the progress I have made and we have made and just be like, you know what? Last year I had a crop of broccoli with probably like 50 broccoli plants that hardly came up and did anything. They were nothing but leaves. Carrots that filled 2 sides but hardly grew any carrots, and then nasturtium flowers. That's all I had growing last year at this time. And now looking in my garden, knowing that I've got garlic planted, onion planted, potatoes planted, carrots, which...
Unlimited lettuce.
Yeah,
we have so much lettuce. Yeah.
Slugs, I'm even growing those.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Help.
But yeah, I definitely am really enjoying experimenting, playing in the dirt, getting a lot better as we go. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's the biggest lesson that we've learned is just to really just learn by doing. Like, because it's the only way to go about it, especially when it comes to gardening, because everybody's places and plots and just where like you decide to plant something, it's just different every time, and you're not going to know until you do it. Like, you can add as much theory as you want.
Which is where permaculture is really fun as well. I think there's so much you can learn and hear about permaculture, but at the end of the day, it's just go out and experiment. Like, notice what happens in your garden and with the different elements of it, and work with it, not against it. Like, if something wants to grow somewhere in your garden, encourage it, let it do its thing, and support it. And I mean, as long as it's not kikuyu grass, no one wants that.
If something just pops up and you don't want it there, then put it somewhere that you do want it, and see if you can get it going again as well. Like,
we actually
does it all the time.
Yeah, we had a few volunteer tomatoes come around the hose, and I tried to transplant them. Our battery just died.
Oh no! All right, it's all right. We're still alive. The video.
You guys might be able to hear us but not see us. Sam's just gone to get some new batteries. I'm not sure if I should keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking.
I was talking about permaculture, wasn't I? So what was I saying? The train of thought, it's gone. What a disaster. I'll ask you guys. You were just talking about greenhouses and growing in pots. So I want to know, how do you keep things alive? Because anytime I add a greenhouse or anytime I try to grow something in a pot, I completely kill it. So what is your secret for keeping things alive when they're grown in pots or in hot places? We can still hear you. Oh my God, how embarrassing. This never happens when we're recording. We can get rid of that footage.
We got that.
Oh,
let's get me more in the frame.
If only we knew that we needed a charged battery before we started recording.
Oh, God. Actually, last time I plugged into power, so this is probably just my fault.
Oh, tomatoes. Thank you, Rose. Yes.
Yeah.
I was talking about the volunteer tomatoes that came up around the hose, and I tried to transplant them. And although they're still alive, they're not doing anything. But I noticed there were two other plants that were still growing around the hose. So just the other day, I went out with some string and I tied it up to our, what is that? Like the fence around our house.
The balustrade.
Yeah. And look, they've got some flowers. So I'll let you know if tomatoes grow around us in winter, because right now they want to.
Yeah, cool. So we definitely want to ask, because I think we've been going for 45 minutes now. So we want to ask you guys what you want to see more of. It sounds like cooking might be a good thing.
Cooking? What are you talking about?
The subject for more videos in the future.
Yeah. What do you guys want to see on the channel?
What do you want? Yeah, we really appreciate any feedback. I'm always enjoy doing things with fires, but I don't know, it just feels like, I've lit that many fires on this channel. Like, I don't want it to get stale. But
No, I think more so a good question. You guys know that we're about to convert a bus. So how much of that do you really want to see? Because we do still want to share a lot of our garden. And I mean, spring is just around the corner. Things are about to get really busy once again. The animals still exist and move around on our property. And knowing us, we're going to get more. We're considering getting pigs again this season.
Yep.
More meat chickens are definitely going to be around. But as far as the bus conversion, how much of that do you want to see? Like, do you guys want a weekly update? Do you want to see like more tutorials on how to do things? Are you just along for the ride, see whatever we bring up? It'd be good to have some feedback on what you guys are hoping for.
Cool. More collabs. Awesome. We're definitely keen to do some collabs.
Collabs?
Yeah.
Collabs.
Just change my country of origin for a second. More from scratch living. Cool.
Ooh, a few really good tips as far as keeping things alive in pots. What do you mean by sauces? Sauces as in like the plate underneath, or like a special sauce to keep them alive?
Yeah, that's so a saucer under the pot.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's my
For like
EAL
more,
background.
as much water as possible.
Pots on the ground? Why on the ground? Is that to prevent evaporation maybe? cool. Fill it with veggie scraps, so like a inside compost. That's so clever.
Oh, yeah.
I love ways to make composting easier. Like compost is amazing, but actually staying on top of like rotating it and adding things into it and the whole balance thing can be challenging. I like more collabs. Yeah. More scratch living. More on you guys. Cool. Fan of the ASMR stuff. That was lots of fun. And I think that's what the direction Sam wants to take with cooking on the channel is more.
Not a fan.
Oh, not a fan. Okay.
We'll skip past that then. No, that's the ASMR stuff is more of a I kind of bring you guys along for some of my mental health projects, which like building the fire pit. That I was in a particularly like low place, but I still really love the channel and getting content out there. So I don't want to put myself out in a space that like isn't my 80 to 100%. So the ASMR is more of a like I just feel myself like doing something and then I've got something to show you guys, as opposed to just like a week where you don't hear from us because I've just been doing things by myself.
Oh my gosh, you guys are lighting up the comments.
Yeah.
It's so hard to keep
up.
We really do love and appreciate you guys being here. I keep saying it, but this is such a beautiful community, and it's so fun to be able to sit and chat and interact with you guys and listen to what you're all up to, like downsizing your house or wanting to downsize. Annette, I feel like there's so much that we all still want to do and progress in our own lives. So it's really cool to be able to just sit down and chat to you guys about that all as well. More question and answers, successes and failures. Yeah, that would be lots of fun to do.
It's really humbling, guys, because a lot of you guys are asking for just more of like us and what we're doing, and that's easy. That's like. That just means you guys are enjoying seeing our journey, whatever comes our way, and that's really nice. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, and the bus is definitely a huge part. I mean, part of homesteading is creating a home. Oh. So the bus is our way to be able to afford our home right now, because I know we're not silly and you're not silly. You've seen the house prices around at the moment, and to try buy property in the market right now is just like we're not wanting to go into that much debt. So the bus build for us is just a way to not feel like we're sitting still and not seeing our life progress and our goals progressing. It's just an accessible way to have a home. Yeah,
well, we are of like a generation, and I was of the mindset in my teens and my 20s that I didn't want to ever own property ever. And that like I'm not a fan of the investment market. Not in like it's more of a in the sense of me wanting to spend my time doing that activity. So the decision to like buy land has come later in life, and it's more like I want to own the place where our home's going to be. Yeah. And the purpose of that was to have to spend less time working. So it's not that it's silly to buy into the market. It's just that doesn't line up with our goals.
It's silly for us because even if we could afford to do it right now, we would be in so much debt that trying to then step back away from full-time work it'd
be impossible.
We
would both have to work full-time.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you guys are excited to find more Aussie channels. We totally agree that when we first started on this journey and like researching and finding people on YouTube, it was a lot of that big American community. And those guys are awesome. Like they're doing some incredible things.
Fantastic inspiration.
So inspiring, amazing, beautiful, heartwarming people. But there's something so special about knowing that the people you talk to, watch and connect with are literally just around the corner. Like, yeah. Something really cool about that.
I got a really nice comment before. Let's go up. Here you go. Cool. I definitely want to show that. Those voiceovers were kind of like a whim thing, and I kind of took a risk because I wasn't sure if that was going to how that was going to be received. So thank you for saying that, because I wasn't sure if I should do more of those, because it was a little bit different to what we normally do. It was a little bit different pace, but as I said, that week I was feeling especially low when I was filming, so I filmed it, and then when I was feeling much better and a bit more reflective, I then did the voiceovers. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing that video, and it did a lot for me feeling good to then get on with it. So
don't be sorry for all the comments at all. This is so beautiful.
yeah.
It
Some
makes
really
us
nice
happy. We're just feeling stressed because we don't want to be sitting here like scrolling through comments being like, oh my God, guys, just hold on. We just want to hear what you're saying.
I can't imagine. Like, Robin, your live the other day, that was really impressive because you were reading comments and talking the whole time.
It was amazing.
And I've done solo streams before, and I know how difficult that is. But at least like with Di and I here, like one person's talking, the other's reading the comments, and like at least there's a bit of a flow that we can have going on.
Yeah.
Yep,
relating to other Aussies. Totally agree.
Yeah, like we got a lot of inspiration from the US homesteading community, and then the gardening kind of came from that. Like the gardening, there's just countless different channels, but like with the homesteading side of things, there's definitely like a kind of a congregation going on in the US. And the US does seem to, well, not seem, but like it's totally natural for them to be insulated in their US community. And it's just really nice to see that slowly happening here. And I feel like it is because there's more of us popping up.
Ooh, I second Annette's question. Where is everybody from in Australia? Like, what part of the country are you in? Because I know right now, even though we're all in winter. Yeah, or if you're somewhere else in the world, of course. Don't want to disclude you, but where are you guys all from? We're in New South Wales. We're on the south coast. We're literally in the border town right near New South Wales and Victoria. But I know even though we're all in winter, we'll be experiencing like dramatically different weather and season. So where's everyone from?
Yeah, where you're from and one
South
thing that
Australia,
you love.
Yeah, Queensland. I love that you guys are also including like your general area, but I have so little geographical knowledge of Australia. I'm going to have to start looking them all up. The Blue Mountains, I definitely know them. And they look stunning. Very jealous. Wollongong.
Upper Yarra Valley, I've kicked around there a lot. That's there are old camping grounds were up near Maryville. That's where we used to go camping.
I read Robin's comment and I thought it said South Australia, New South Wales. I was about to be like, how can you be in two places? I need to get some glasses, I think.
Cool, all over the joint.
Yeah, there's a few people around each other too. Be cool to see who's close by. Perth, outside York. Oh, a couple of Perth goers. You guys are hopefully experiencing some cooler weather. You've had some heat for a while. Hey, Russell, how are you going? It's been a while.
Thank you so much for your kind comment too, Rose. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Rose, I remember I found out recently you live just around where we used to, so we would have been neighbours at some point.
Well, I lived all over Melbourne at plenty of
course,
places.
but the last place we were in. Yeah. Sarah's in Midland.
Townsville, cool.
Yeah. Off-grid, the dream. To live off-grid, to not rely on an electrical company or a sewerage company or the stress of bills. You are living our dream, Sarah.
Working towards it.
Townsville up in Queensland. Yeah, I agree. We need an Aussie Homesteaders convention. I can just imagine being able to sit down and speak in person would be so much less overwhelming than us trying to read a comment.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say that when we've got the Australian community all in one place.
Victorian homestead YouTubers. Yes. There's Kathy from Little Garden Big Dreams. There's Sweeney's Creek Farm. Annette from Flower Folk Farm. Those are three off the top of my head that come from Victoria. Three really great people too.
Feel free, guys, to leave any link for any channels in the chat. We are not we will not be upset
Catchy.
for people shamelessly plugging their channels
Yeah.
or plugging people that they're fans of. Like we're here to build community.
Yeah, Everview, Homestead as well. Those 4 channels that I just mentioned, they're all on the west side of Victoria. Yeah, like towards Geelong and all that. If there's any others too, guys, down in Victoria, let us know. I've been finding more and more people connecting with us from New South Wales and up in Queensland as well.
We're coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
we exist.
I agree. Like, I think the Aussie community is actually growing and getting bigger and bigger. So, and it is just all of us making these connections too, which has been really cool.
It's just Australia's kind of
We'll
really
set it up.
good country to homestead. There's so much land to people. I really think that it will take off going forward, especially after COVID.
Yeah, I completely agree. We're actually probably going to try run maybe 1 or 2 chicken butchering workshops this year. It's been something that we've wanted to work towards, and this could be the year. So that could be a really good chance to catch up then.
Well, I feel like we're at a space where we're like they say the last step in learning something is to teach it, the last step of mastery. So like we can teach the entire process from chick all the way to butchered into all the different cuts. So there is definitely some value that we can offer.
But even just a chance to catch up, give people the knowledge and the confidence to have a go themselves, because we all know that the first time we do something can be the most overwhelming, and just having some support or someone to talk to and know that what you're doing is okay and normal is a really confidence boosting thing. But I totally agree with you guys. An Aussie Homesteader event is something we all need to do. The bus build for us is also an opportunity in the future to hopefully be able to go around and meet some of you guys. So we'll keep working on it.
Goals.
Watch this space.
We definitely want to be working.
We want to meet you guys.
Yeah. We're like, I'm very social. And Diane loves socializing. But like she'll want to get back to her garden afterwards, that's all.
In the middle of Victoria, almost, just up from Melbourne-ish.
Beautiful area. That's actually where we were first looking. We were heading up towards
nice, Russell.
Just the foothills of like the Snow Mountains below Hotham, and we got the name of them.
Beautiful. We probably drive through that way coming up here from Victoria. We visit Victoria often because we've got family down there still. All our families down there. We're the only ones up here, so lonely.
So far.
I think we're going to start wrapping this up, guys. It's been almost an hour, and we absolutely love chatting to you guys, but we've got work tomorrow, and I'm sure you guys may as well. But if there's any other last questions or things that you want us to touch on before we start wrapping things up, feel free to jot them down now.
Also, feedback on the live as well. We can just ramble non-stop all night. We do want to try and keep it to an hour, especially to make it accessible to view if you weren't I know that if I look at a channel that I really enjoy and I see a live and it says 3 hours, I'm like, nope, no way. Once it's done and dusted. But my
favorite part about lives is the chatting, though. I don't know about you guys. Is anyone else in the same page that, like, the reason to join a live, if you're not there at the moment, like, you're really missing that significant chunk of what it means to come together like this. But definitely, hopefully more events in the future. Definitely some more happening around here as well, and progressing towards some more goals too, sharing it with you guys. We're just really excited to hear that you're enjoying what we're doing and what we're sharing, and just keen to chat and connect more.
Every time we do something like this, it really boosts the inspiration levels. Makes us want to get out and do more and create more videos, create more.
And thank you so much for all the love and support. You guys are just amazing. I remember the first live that we did a couple of months ago. We were so nervous of how it would go, if anyone would even be there. And just to see that this is now our second one, and there's so many of you that we have already chatted to and connected with, like, and some new people too. It's just
the fact that you guys are
heartwarming.
taking time out of your night to just sit down with us and hang out is just awesome. Like, it's Sunday night. You guys should be watching movies or something, you know?
Yeah.
Hanging out at the pub.
Yeah, we're probably in future lives, we might do it a bit earlier in the night. That might suit us and some of you guys a bit better too, but we'll keep you updated. We're going to try do a live on the third Sunday of every month from now on, so set that into your calendars if you're keen to join in. Oh, hi, Kathy. We just mentioned you earlier on as well. You've come in too late. We're about to go.
We're signing off.
I hope you've been doing well, though, on your Homestead. I'm looking forward for another update to see how you guys are going there. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone that was here, who popped in for a moment or for a while. Oh, yes, our internet's been really bad as well at the moment.
Yeah.
We literally, I think I had to turn the internet off my phone just to get this live working. But yeah, there'll be another one. Third Sunday every month.
Yep.
If you missed it this time, hopefully next time it'll be a bit more accessible.
And definitely in the videos coming up over the next month, feel free to ask any questions. We do read all of them. And Diane does her best to answer all the comments, or as many as she possibly can. But we'll be scouting out those comments as well for any really good questions, so we can have subject matter to talk about when we do our next live.
Yeah. Looking forward to chatting to you guys again. Congratulations, Annie. Almost 1,000. It's always exciting. It can be a bit disheartening when the subs go up and down, but remember that the most important people are still there watching and supporting you. It's just a number after all, so just hang in there. Remember, you're doing a great job, and keep lifting each other up.
Yeah, I mean, this channel is 2 years in, I think.
Yeah.
So, growth is inevitable, especially when you're part of a community.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, guys, we really enjoyed your time. Thank you so much for being a part of today. And yeah, a few cool videos coming out soon from us, a few big projects about to come underway. And of course, we'll keep you guys updated. But
absolutely,
have a great week, and happy gardening.
Happy homesteading.
All right. Bye, everyone.
All right. Last chance to get last comments in.
No, it's too late. It's turning off. Bye. All right.